up with the YouTube now? If you didn't know, now you know. It's DaQonn, aka KingLo. I don't know DaQonn as soon as they say Qonn, man. I feel like we should take this time out to get to know each other a little bit, man. I'll start. Hold on. Me first, personally, man, I'm just a kid from the Midwest, Cleveland, Ohio, to be exact. Currently 25, almost 26 years old. Just turned 25 not too long ago, man, in December. Just continue to push forward in everything that I got going on in my life, your life, their life, man. Just knowing that, you know, it's always gonna be something, whether it's a personal issue that you got going on, or just, you know, like the next goal or whatever that you want to reach in life. That it's always gonna be something. So just always having that mentality is kind of like where I'm at now with it. Like push through this, you know, push through whatever. Cause it's gonna be a lesson at the end of the day and a blessing, you know, if you use it the right way. So, back to me, yeah, I'm a city boy. City boys up 1,000 fucking around with me. Yeah, I'm a city boy, man. I grew up in downtown Cleveland, Project Baby. Didn't seen it all in a lot of my earlier years, as far as being involved with the streets and then what everybody else got going on, and just growing as a person. Like, grew up in the era where we was outside every day. We didn't let no day waste. We was outside every day. So I kind of like just take that same mentality and that approach of like just not wasting time, and, you know, just always being up on my stuff as far as that. So yeah, so man, grew up crazy, just crazy experiences, man, crazy interactions with people just off the beginning, like the youth years, which I kind of can say like helped shaped everybody, you know. Like, you be really, like, I hate to say it, but it's a great term to use when it's like the analogy of you're a product of your environment, you know, like whatever you be around, or the friends that you hold near and the brains that you pick on a daily basis is kind of like the area or the box that you kind of place yourself in, you know. And I said all that to say, like, so growing up, it was like you look up to necessary OGs or big homies, or in my case, my big brother Hollywood. Shout out to bro. You just look up to certain people, just in the aspect of what they do. Cause me, I'm just a big person on like how do people affect change, or they affect people. That's the shit that really stand out to me. So, a lot of role models as far as big homies, couple, probably like 2 or 3. But you know, everything panned out when you start to grow up. So growing up in the projects was crazy. I got to move out of the projects and into where I got a residence at now, but you know, moved into the Heights because of sports reasons. Playing football, basketball, normal kid shit, you know, just really going through the most at the time, and I was really just trying to really figure out who I was just as a person. So just being able to take those experiences and kind of like grow with it is like the best term that I could be able to use. So playing football through my earlier years, basketball is my first love as far as sports. So, you know, picked up basketball, wasn't good at it at all in like third and fourth grade. I was fucking dog shit. Then it was like a fucking switch went off, and then like the end of fourth grade, beginning of fifth grade, I just became good as fuck all of a sudden. And then so I was playing basketball for like 3 years, up until like 6th grade, 7th grade. Then picked up football in fucking in 6th grade, and I ain't looked back from that shit since. Like the physicality, the edge, the competition. You feel me? Just drill to rep. Like I enjoyed that shit the most out of it. So it's like, of course, you know, especially as a kid from motherfucking ghetto, you kind of think and you see yourself on that pathway of like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna accomplish woo woo woo. So you start to set out and do things. So as a kid, you know, came up, fucking straight up about the projects damn near, and when I got to the chance to see my opportunity, I ain't back down from that shit at all. So by the time I even got to coming out of middle school, played linebacker and running back around that time, especially in middle school, played linebacker, running back, then was being scouted by like different little high school, which was weird as fuck to me at the time because I didn't know nothing about none of that shit. Like being scouted out by different like high schools and they wanted me to come, woo, woo. But I was just so focused on also like trying to have damn near like the best of both worlds, which is like in my instance, it was like, okay, if I can be able to be good as fuck at what I do and love what I do, be in football and still being able to integrate that with being with my guys, being with the gang, the people that I grew up around, come on, who wouldn't take that? That's a win-win in that instance, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I was like, no, fuck it, I'm gonna go to this certain high school because I know such and such, who gonna be there, and that's what's gonna make us, because if you really know like about this like sports or you know just the hood and streets in general, it's like all the crazy ass athletes really come out of that gutter, you feel what I'm saying? So it's like, and I knew that, just like even the team they put together when we first got to high school, it was a great ass team. We had, the sky was the limit with the talent, but you know with that comes the edge of like everybody got their own egos, everybody got shit going on, so like everybody started to get kicked off teams and you know just started to break down and deteriorate, and then it was like, why the fuck did I even, you feel me? I'm like, why the fuck did I even come here? It's like, yeah, we went, you know, freshman team, I played varsity even as a freshman on the football side. I was like, all right, we can go 16-0 as the freshman, but I'm playing varsity, so that should really count to me there too as well. So I'm like, I need to be, all right, me and my couple guys supposed to play varsity, then motherfuckers get kicked off the team, or you feel me, motherfuckers start going to jail, motherfuckers got motherfuckers on ankle monitor. It's just all types of shit that motherfuckers into. So at that time, it just started to break down. I'm just out looking around like, damn, that's what it is. Ooh. When prior to, I had my own situation and shit going on in the motherfucking the streets as well. I got into another learning lesson, as we should say. Got into another learning lesson, and that shit like it just showed me, because I had to go definitely sit down for a short period of time, and it was looking like I was going to be having to do good amount of time. So during that time, especially being ninth grade, I was only 14 years old. It was a time where I was like, "Is this my life?" You know what I'm saying? It's like I got thinking about like, man, is this what I'm about to do? Like, is this what this shit come to? It's like, nah, bro. Like I got into this shit to be way bigger than this shit, you know. So I started to say that my mindset around that time, especially like 14, 13, you know, not really having the greatest of influences and just doing what the fuck I wanted to do as an individual, it just started to shift a little bit at that time. So when I get out of my situation, jail or whatever, you know, I was 15, 10th grader. Mom Dukes had to move me into this, my own little area, and I started going to this motherfucking high school, a new high school, because, you know, because prior to when I got motherfucking, before before I even got locked up in my motherfucking situation in 9th grade through the first semester, I got kicked out of my previous school because it's like, oh yeah, you good as fuck academically and you're doing what you're doing as a, doing what you're supposed to do as an athlete, as a student athlete on both sides. But it's like, bro, your fucking behavior, and that shit can really hinder a lot of people, like just doing dumb shit to be a misguided at a certain, at the wrong period of time, you know? So, came out, had to do had to start over, damn near, from scratch. Like, even if from having from being at Penn State and all these other little colleges, shit working out, my 9th grade year, and talking to all this other different shit, and actually being able to see, like, this is the reach, and this is what you can actually do as a pro athlete or next level. Like, being able to see that shit, then it's like, boom, you get hit with this shit. It's like, all right, how do you start over? And that was one of the big things that I was just on, especially just in my time being 14, going on 15, going from 9th to 10th grade. I was like, shit, there has to be a bounce back period. Like, cause I'm big on transition and, you know, what's next level, push the shit further. So I'm like, bet I damn near got a clean start. Let me come out into the shit. You feel me? Step how I'm supposed to, right? So we get out. So I get out beginning 10th grade, right when I got out. Summer was, I think, just beginning. No, it's like, yeah, like, so summer was just beginning. So we get to, so I got to go straight to football damn near. Like, those of you know, football usually kick off early as fuck before school even starts. So, you know, we be doing 2-a-days, whatever the fuck type shit. So I got to be there and show up for that at this new school. So I'm like, bet, let me take this opportunity to really, you feel me, take advantage of the situation. Fucking step in, I get to really going crazy. I'm still at my same position. I'm like, you know, who y'all, those who don't know, like linebacker, running back, whatever, woo, cool. So, new school, they like, yeah, you're good at this position, but we need you here. I'm like, alright, cool, whatever, change positions, woo. No. So, shit get to going good. You know, I definitely changed positions from running back to tight end. And then my motherfucking skinny ass, I played nose guard and defensive tackle and shit like that. So it was like, just being able to see different shit, wide receiver, just all that different type of shit. So I got to like start at these different positions on varsity. So I'm like, who wouldn't take that? You know, I'm like, bet. Took the starting role, which was kind of like a gift and a curse, because, you know, got to play, got to be a starter, got to actually grow in this certain aspect of what they kind of saw me as, but it was also kind of like, it was like a limited potential thing, because I know what I could do, especially with that rock, and I know what I do, especially on that defensive side when I freed up as a linebacker. You know what I mean? So it was just a learning phase. My whole life, really lightweight, having to put the ego to the side and just be like, all right, this is what it is. I'm a team, man. At the end of the day, whether it's through family, through YouTube, whether it's through business and relationships, like, I'm a team, man. So whatever we can do to, you feel me, help the team win, cool. Sophomore year went crazy. Getting scouted out, like, even during this time, you're not supposed to even talk to colleges, like, have a 10th grader being sought out and talked to by the coaches at Kentucky and, you know, like, all these other big schools. So it's kind of like, you get to see that gift of the curse that I was talking about. Like, okay, you really don't even want to play this position, or you learn in this new aspect. It's like, but this shit you can see the ceiling of where this shit go. Oh, they coming up, they watching me. Okay, cool. So you just continue to develop and learn that aspect and develop the game. So the year in and year out, I just try to become, okay, I was the best tight end in the conference. Now I want to become one of the best receivers. You know, just like little shit like that. You know, you just always push yourself. But now I ain't even really focusing at that time. But I'm like, I'm just really straight defense, but they fucked my position up. I went from being a starting middle linebacker at a certain point to the starting defensive tackle with nose guard. So, but it just kind of make you look at shit a little bit differently. Like, okay, how can I still be able to have my impact and affect the game in my own way? And so that's what I just began to look at. Just dig deep, levels to this shit. Just begin to level up. But then I noticed what that did for me though, especially what having a coach who wasn't gonna push me or have like reach out to different college coaches and bring them down to my level and create that interaction without having that. It was like a hindering phase because, to be real, especially with those positions, you need that connection at the next level. Like, oh, this person can do woo, because if you're not a quarterback or running back, or my instance, like a middle linebacker or running back, it's like people don't see you off the top. They don't see offensive linemen and defensive tackles and tight ends and shit like that. That's the last thing down the line, which is kind of sad to say because it's them like the most important shit, but it's like that's the last thing that people look for, right? So that's how I like to say it's like learning curve and just being able to see how you can impact the game anyway. So in coming out of high school, it was just like switch up. Like I don't even really, my love for the game ain't even really there no more. Especially when I'm coming out of high school, especially how it ended and shit. It's like my love for the game wasn't even really there. So I'm like, instead of really just forcing myself into a situation about a college, because don't get me wrong, I had good places where I could have definitely went and tried to make it work in the college instance, like Tiffin, for instance. Like I could have went down there and played running back, and just been running back at Tiffin. But who knows? Especially me knowing city nigga and all the shit that's going on. It's like, who knows? Especially dealing with family shit all the time. It's like, who knows what that outcome is? So, especially with my heart not all the way in, and my mind and everything was there. I was ready to work. I was putting in work every day. I do 3 days, 2 days on my own, just being the person that I am. So I'm like, instead of me just trying to force this situation and just trying to make it work, I'm gonna take a year off. Year off from school, and that and then like just in that time, I was just being able to work and figure out what you need to figure out just as a man building up on your own platform, So just being able to see certain shit like how you actually move in real life. I would recommend them to everybody to be able to take a year off if you were able. But it's just being able to see certain shit like how you want to move and woo. So I ended up locking in on the school. All right, bet I'm gonna go here. Notre Dame College. I'm gonna go here. Woo, let's do it. And it was just a great transitional period just in my life. I got to see like, okay, I can be straight out of high school, 18 with 2 or 3 cars, living nice, making damn near $50,000 a year just off the top, just off breaking your hand and putting yourself in a nice spot. But like, I'm not okay with comfortable. I'm always trying to like push to that next level. It's like I see where this shit go. Just damn like dead end at this point. You know what I'm saying? Excuse me. So cut their ass up out the video, boy. You ain't getting no free promo. No, but I was saying, it was like just during that time, I'm like, all right, I see what you need to be as a man, but I already knew it because I've been paying bills since I was 14. It's the same time before I even went to jail, so I'm paying bills since I was 14, 15, 13, shit like that. So I knew what you needed, but then it's like the financial literacy part and everything that actually matters that start to come into account when you actually start to look at life and shit. You feel me? It's not just putting out no money and paying a nigga and you alright. You feel me? It's about moving right so you can actually have the structure to do the things you need to do. So I said all that to say, when I was picked up on this new school, like, all right, this is where I'm gonna go. Woo woo. Like, bet. This is what I'm gonna do. go in. They was already scouting me for, you know, tight end, wide receiver, shit like that. I'm like, all right, bet, let's do it. So, but I didn't have the scholarship or whatever. So I was basically a walk on. So what I'm big on is, like I said, relationships. I love people. You feel me? Like, that's my biggest thing that I feel like where I'm best at, in a sense, because I be able to see and appreciate that shit. So reach out to them. Let me come play woo woo. Turn up. All right. Boom. They like, we love your film, the shit undeniable, whatever. Woo woo. Like, cool. They like, we don't have a spot for nobody, especially walk-ons and shit, whatever. So when I go in the film room, so I take another year and a half off my life of just motherfucking being the film guy, you feel me, walking around with the camera, being that guy, making those interactions and filming for him, doing work steady or whatever, but also still being the guy that's in the weight room, on the books, you know, just being a model student athlete that I can, you know, in all aspects. So just still being that guy, another year and a half went by, but I finally being able to get into my role where I can play and shit like that. Woo woo. It's like, all right, bet, now let's go crazy, we'll cook up. So, you know, first year, we get to go crazy, we get playing time, we get all the other things that we kind of looking for and just building up. But it was like, you got to learn your levels and just work towards it. But then in that instance, I was just able to just build just great relationships with the whether it be the I want to say fucking principal, but that's not even a word. It's like the professors, but not even the professors, like the dean of the college, you know, the president of the college, and just like shit like that. Was I was kind of see like the relationships, for one, always is worth more than money, but it's like the relationships really kind of just helped me see who I was as a person, because I was still at that time, like, I was just going through an identity crisis, because I was still just chasing what I felt like I loved at that time, was football. So then at that time, I was like, all right, let me pivot, because we still working hard as fuck. I'm doing, like I said, two a days when I work outside, and I'm working 3 jobs during the whole summers, especially just being at college. I'm paying the college tuition just to live on campus and things of that nature, as my nigga do business, and things of that nature. You know, I'm paying basically to play football, do the shit that I love, and go to college and shit. After a while, bro, you know, like 2 years getting in, it's like, bro, what the fuck? We ain't moving the needle with nothing. Like, nobody tried to even come talk to me about no scholarship or nothing. But it was in the good instance of, like, you gotta know your worth and know what you put in and being able to get up out this shit. Because during the time, I was definitely a model-ass student athlete, grades and everything up to par. But it was a period of time for like a couple months span where I had got injured. I had got a concussion, and that was like the like my first, and then like my first and my last injury. But that was like my way out, because it was like I got to be able to like sit down, like going back to when I was like 14. I got to be able to sit down for a minute and actually understand what was going on. You feel me? Just from the standpoint of like me as a person, and like, where do we go from here? Because you got to think, like, when I was 14, I'm like, all right, how can I be able to shift to get back on this path of playing in the next level? Woo. And then I sit down again, and what, another 5 years later, when 19, 20 or some shit like that, 20 years something. And we sit down at that time, and I was like, I'm thinking like, okay, who am I as a person? That's what was going through identity crisis. Like, who am I as a person? And like, what the fuck am I doing? And shit's like, just open your eyes, you know, and like, I'm like, bro, I'm paying these people thousands of dollars a month. It's like, they don't really give a fuck about me. Like, not saying the people, like the president or whatever, because they heard what I had to say. They was, you know, trying to work and do the best I can, but as an institution, and I want to be someone who's doing the right thing and can hopefully be inspiration to somebody else. So, with that being said, we're going to go ahead and get up out of here. Yo, if you didn't know, now you know it's DaQonn, a.k.a. King Lo. You going to know Qonn when they say Qonn.